Hey everyone, and welcome back to Kingdom Hairstylist. This is your host. My name is Billie Jean, and I'm excited that it is the first day of school, and I hope and pray that your kids are off to a great start so far. For everyone that's already, have kids that already started. My kids were excited to go back to school because I believe they begin to get a little bit bored after a while, especially my oldest son. And their age difference is so much apart, like one is 16 and one's 11. So that's, they play well together and they get along very, very well. But the oldest was ready to get back. This is his 11th grade year and he is so excited. The youngest is going to middle school. He was also excited, but probably not as excited as the older one. But my oldest son reminds me a lot of myself because I used to love school. I never wanted to stay home, just like my son. He never asked to stay home. Some kids ask to stay home because they don't even want to go. But my son don't never ask to stay home, and he loves school. I think for me, it was because I was the youngest of my siblings, and I couldn't really relate to them, or they didn't want to be bothered with me. So I wanted to be in school, to be with my friends. So that's pretty much why I love school. And I did well in school. Because I enjoyed it. So I just pray that, our babies will have a great school year. I prayed this morning for God's protection over them and, just pray that they had a great year academically and just pray that, God will continue to keep them and bless them throughout the year. So that's not what I wanted to talk about today, but I just wanted to, share that with you all because it's important for us as mothers, aunts, godmothers, sisters, all that stuff to pray and be intercessors for the kids because, somebody has to protect them and somebody has to pray for them. Today's topic that I want to discuss is what's in it for me. So I pretty much got this message from God because I had been struggling like the last week or so about why I felt like I was doing an adult temper tantrum, where I was like just very frustrated because, I just don't know like what direction God is taking me in, but I know that I'm going to stay the course. And I had, prayed to God and asked him like, God, I'm doing everything that you told me to do. I'm doing it right this time because we always try to do things the right way and then we kind of get off track as far as having faith in God and having trust in him. Sometimes we lay things at his feet and then we take it back. I know for myself, I'm talking to myself when I say that because I do it a lot. I say I surrender. I say that I'm leaving it at your feet, God, and then tomorrow I'll wake up and take it back and just start worrying all day long about things I have no control over. So I prayed and, just asked God, like, what's in it for me, for me to keep staying the course. And he reminded me of how I was living before I actually started living the right way with him. He also reminded me of all of the promises that he has for me. A little while ago, I was prophesied to by this lady whom I love so much. And she showed me and told me all the different things that God has planned for me. And I was amazed because I know that we serve a mighty God, but that the fact that he cares for little old me the way that he does, the fact that he cares for little old you, the person that, like me, that is a mess or was a mess, you know what I mean? Just that he still cares and he still wants to give me all the things that he has for me, And Jeremiah talks about how he has a plan for our hope, a hope and a future for us. And he just reminded me of that, that I got to fight for these promises and that I got to keep on going no matter what it feels like, no matter what it looks like, and no matter how it seems. Sometimes you just feel like God has forgotten about you because it's like the moment you start living right is when it just gets crazy. And I know that I'm not the only one that feels that way, and it's just, it could be very frustrating and it can be very difficult if you don't have a relationship with God. So that's why every day I get up, I get on a 5:30 a.m. prayer call I have to. That's how I start my day. And then I got to read and I got to pray, because if not, the enemy will attack me all day long with these different thoughts that I don't really need right now. So God reminded me of all the things that are in it for me, that if I stay with him and if I stay close to him, if I seek him each and every day, that he will make my path straight and that he will give me all of the desires of my heart, put new fresh ideas in my head. He'll give me different tools and strategies for my business. He'll provide for me each and every day. So I was so grateful that he reminded me of those things, because again, sometimes, you'll talk yourself out of your blessings, because you'll think that it's not going to get any better, when that's just a lie, from the devil. The enemy just wants to trick you. So I'm just grateful that I know who God is, and I'm glad that I'm reading more of the word so that I can really, 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 really know who he is for myself. Because growing up, you hear a lot of things about God and Jesus and different things Jesus did. And, and it's like you hear those things, but to experience them for yourself is the greatest blessing that you could ever have. And so the way to experience it is to read the word each and every day. Every time I open up the Bible, I get a new revelation of something I didn't even know that happened in the Bible. And it can be something that relates to what I'm going through. And then sometimes God will drop certain chapters in your spirit. He'll tell you to read certain things. Like one day I was just reading and he told me to read 1 Samuel. Now, I still don't understand exactly what I was supposed to get, if I'm being transparent, from 1 Samuel, because it's packed with so many different things that happen in 1 Samuel. So, there's the situation with Hannah where she couldn't have a child, and then she prayed to ask God to give her a child, and she told him that if he gave her a child, that she would dedicate the child back to God. And then you have the story about Saul, him being a little young guy running around looking for I believe they were sheep that his father lost, or something like that, donkey something, but he had to go find them. And then the prophet Samuel came to him and told him that, you're going to be the next king, basically. So it's a lot of different things. It's other things that are in that chapter as well. Sometimes I go back and read it, but lately I've been asking God for more revelation on why he wanted me to read it. I don't know whether he wanted me to read about David, because David is also in that chapter. So I don't know. It's what I do know is that God is very strategic. And even though things don't always seem right, or sometimes things don't add up in your mind, or you can't fully understand certain things, but God knows exactly what he is doing. And I know that because of things that have happened in my life, that if I didn't trust him, or if I didn't believe in who he was, he wouldn't have been able to bring certain things to life and in me. And he puts all these different visions inside of me that kind of scare me sometimes, because it's like I don't really know when it's going to happen, but I know that if God put it in me, if it's placed inside of me, that it's definitely going to take place at some point in my life. But I just try not to question God. I try not to question him, but I did question him recently to ask him what was in it for me. And I'm sharing all of this with you all because it might be a question that you're asking. Like, why is she coming on here each and every week trying to get us to build our relationship with God? Why is she talking about having a relationship with God so much when I haven't really seen anything good in my life? But that's a lie. There's so many good things that God has done in your life that you're probably just so distracted or just so frustrated that you haven't even stopped to think about the fact that he has done so many great things in your life, and he's still going to do great things, but you got to stay the course. So when he reminded me of that, I told myself, I'm going to stay the course, and I'm going to keep fighting. I'm going to keep praying. I'm going to keep trying to get everything that he showed me that I would have. So, of course, I couldn't leave you all without giving a scripture to back up what I was saying. So it's coming out of Deuteronomy 7. And I always read from the New Living Translation because that's the Bible that I have, the study Bible. And it is verse 9. And it says, "Understand, therefore, that the Lord your God is indeed God." That was a mouthful right there, because we know God is, who he say he is. But when you read it like that, I'm going to read it one more time. It said, "Understand." And it was with a lot of, it just was real strong. "Understand, therefore, that the Lord your God is indeed God." So that just had to shut somebody up who just doesn't believe in God. He is the faithful God who keeps his covenant for 1,000 generations. That's big. And lavishes his unfailing love on those who love him and obey his commands. That was great. That really helped me. I kept reading it over and over and over again because it was just packed with so much good stuff up in it. Just the fact that this verse talks about how God keeps his covenant for 1,000 generations. That's big because, Abraham, he basically told Abraham, I'm gonna bless you. And, I'm going to bless all the nations that come after you. And we're part of that. So if he keeps his covenant for thousands of generations, then that means that all the things that he told Abraham he was going to do for us, he'll continue to do it. And he has been doing it. But all we have to do, because there's a part we got to play in it, we got to love him and obey him. So again, like always, I'll put the verse, the scripture, everything inside of the show notes. And I pray that you all have a great rest of the week. Thank you for listening. Thank you for liking it, sharing it. Keep sharing it. Keep liking it. Keep on giving it to somebody that can use it. And I'm getting ready to start having interviews soon. But I wanted to basically just start off the podcast with a lot of me, a lot of transparency, just a lot of different things that I'm going through, because I just want y'all to know that y'all may not be the only one struggling, but it's a good struggle. It's not a bad struggle. So I don't wake up sad or mad or anything like that. I wake up with an expectant heart each and every day. I expect God to show me something new. I expect him to show me who he is. And I get excited when he does, because it's always something good. And it's building my faith. Everything that I've gone through in 2019 has built my faith up even higher. So you all be blessed and have a great week. And thank you for listening.